Hi, Chef Raphael here. Today's video I'm going to show you how to make a delicious egg in a hole. What is that? It's basically egg that has been put in a bread on the hole at the center of the bread, and then you put the egg on the center. It's a super simple recipe to make, but what I wanted to show you is how simple and different you can make your breakfast every morning. This is another idea. I've served it with some sausage and some tomato. Now, how well should you make it? You learn in the video. So myself, I actually like when the egg yolk is a little bit well done. Perfect. The toastiness of the bread and the egg. Watch till the end, you see how simple it is to make it, and let me know in the comment section what other breakfast item you'd like to learn. Let's get cooking. So welcome to the show. Now, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. My cooking channel is all about making you a better home cook or a home baker. What I usually say is bringing cooking back. Now, today's recipe is a simple one, and my inspiration for this recipe is I'm tired of eating bread the same way, and sometimes even like having a French toast, it's the same thing. So what I like about this recipe is the fact that the bread is crispy and on the outside, and we also have the egg on the inside. So it's a nice combination. Now, one way you can actually make this, there's so many different ways. You can use one slice per person or a thick slice. What I'm doing, I'm using 2 slices of bread, of white bread. You can also use brown bread. And all I need to do is to apply some margarine or butter on the outside of the bread. Now, on the inside, you can actually opt to add some peanut butter on the inside, so to give it an interesting taste. And I think peanut butter would work very well with this recipe, but that's on the inside. So what I'm going to do is apply the margarine both sides and then make a hole at the center. Now, to make a hole, it's determined by the size of your bread. Now, that round shape, it's either you can use a glass, like here I'm actually using champagne flute or a wine glass with a narrow circumference. It's not too wide, which is perfect for the size of bread that I have. Just cut it to the end and then remove it, put it aside. You can actually toast it together with the other bread, but basically make a nice hole. If you don't have a glass that could fit, you can actually use a small knife and just basically make a hole. It doesn't have to be round. And that's it. All that is left is to cook. So already cut. Now, again, if you do not apply something on the inside, whereby you'll find the bread it's not stuck together like this, no problem, because when you put the egg on the inside in that hole, it'll actually hold them together. So not to worry. I think what is most important whenever you're doing something like this, it depends on the thickness of your bread. Now, if it's a thick piece of bread, then don't do 2 slices, just do 1, because you also want to give room for the egg to cook on both sides. So we're actually going to cook it on both sides. So you start on the first side. Like I said, the margarine will help the bread to be toasted on the outside as you're cooking. And then when you flip it on the other side, the same will happen. And you also, when it's too thick, the egg will not touch, especially on the second side. When you flip it, it will not brown. You also want the egg to be a little bit brown on the top. Another way you can actually cook this is you can actually bake it in the oven but right now I'm going to cook it on a pan, and I'll show you how simple it is. So now you have your large pan. So I'm going to cook 2 at a time, so the size of your pan will actually determine how many you cook. So the first thing you want to do, just place the bread. I'm going to do it side by side, and then I'm going to get my cooking oil and apply add a small amount at the center. You can of course use even butter on the inside, but I prefer the cooking oil. So a small amount. This is what will actually fry the egg. I'll actually get my egg near me so that it's actually a very fast thing. So now I'm going to add a little bit of oil on the center, not too much, and then crack the egg on the inside. Pan is medium hot, not too hot. So that's it, and then a little bit of salt and pepper inside the egg. Whenever you're cooking egg, it should not be very hot, especially something like this. And that's it. Now our round pieces, I'm going to cook them as well, so they get toasted. Now whenever you're cooking, you also need to look out for the spillage. So some of the egg white has already spilled outside the egg, but it's fine. All that it needs left is to cook it on low heat for about 2 minutes, or until the egg white turns white. Right now it's clear. When it starts, it's clear. When it's all white, it's when you turn it, so that it cooks on the other side for a shorter time. So now you see it's all white. Turn it to the other side. Actually what I'll do, I'll add a small amount of cooking oil here so that it cooks the egg, it doesn't stick. So it had stuck on the first side. Perfect. So what you see here is actually the egg white that actually spilled over and covered the base of this bread, but it's fine, still good. So now you want to cook the second side. Now depending on the doneness of this, it's up to you. So the second side will actually take a shorter time to cook, but so far so good. We'll leave it for about 1 minute, and then it will be ready to serve on a plate. So the bread is ready. The egg is actually the doneness I wanted it to be. I'm going to serve it with some sausage. Let me show you how to serve it, and then end the video with the final tips about making this dish. I've served it with some sausage and tomato. Simple as this. And I think when you serve it, this is just bread and toast. And I think this is a good combination. And I think if you serve it in a similar way to someone, this is enjoyable. It's not boring, and it's simple to make. So hope you've learned something new. Let me know in the comment section what other breakfast recipes you'd like, because I want to do a little bit more on breakfast. So let me know in the comment section what you'd prefer. And I'm signing out. I'm Chef Raphael. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, goodbye.